Hi, I'm Superintendent Tom Ahart. First, I want to thank you for watching. You obviously care about students and about the future of our community. I appreciate your willingness to share your time with us and learn about the budget process. Des Moines Public Schools serves 33,000 students and employs nearly 5,000 people, making us one of the largest employers in the Des Moines area. Our student body is unique in central Iowa. Minority students make up the majority of enrollment. 73% of our students qualify for free and reduced lunch, 20% are English language learners, and nearly 15% are special education students. Creating a budget for a district as large as Des Moines Public Schools takes time and the involvement of many different stakeholders, including school personnel, business and finance professionals, the school board, and citizens like you. The process begins each year in September and continues through April 15th, the deadline mandated by the state of Iowa. It reflects the labor, materials, and resources required to fulfill the goals and objectives established by the school board. Some important things to remember about a school district budget in Iowa. First, school districts have restricted funding sources, meaning some funds may be spent only for certain purposes. The budget is student-driven, and the amount we can spend per student is set by the legislature, a concept called spending authority. And finally, growth in spending authority happens in only three ways: an increase in student enrollment, an increase in miscellaneous income, or finally, an increase in supplemental state aid.
Hi, I'm Terry Caldwell-Johnson, Chair of the Des Moines School Board. Supplemental aid is one of our most important funding sources, and as Dr. Ahart said, is one of the only ways we can increase our spending authority. But take a look at how the state funding has changed, and not for the best. For more than 2 decades, 1973 to 1994, the annual rate of growth was set by a nonpartisan funding formula that incorporated various economic factors. The annual rate for those decades was nearly 6.5%. For the next 15 years, after growth was no longer set by a neutral formula, but decided instead through the legislature, the annual rate dipped to nearly 3.2%. Since 2011, school districts in Iowa have managed to educate more than 500,000 students each year, with an average increase in state aid of just 1.7%. At this rate, while student needs and our reserves, represented by the light blue, green, and yellow lines, remain nearly matched, the state's underfunding will put us in the red as soon as the year 2020. We often hear phrases such as, "the majority of the state's budget is spent on education," and it should be, since state public schools continue to serve nearly 94% of all of Iowa's children. Well-funded schools are better able to attract and retain high-quality teachers, provide individualized attention through class size, and provide an engaging curriculum that includes art and music, all the things that promote high academic achievement. Making sure all Iowa's children receive a quality education is essential for the future of the state of Iowa. For you see, the students we educate today are indeed the workforce of our future.
I'm Nick Linhart, Controller of the Department of Business and Finance. While hoping for the best but planning for the worst, the district anticipated the state would slow growth and spending authority. Consequently, we have been extremely careful in managing our resources. We have achieved efficiencies wherever possible and continue to look for more. We have worked hard to lower operational costs while improving the quality of services for students and families. From aggressive work to improve energy efficiency to centralized printing, we have reduced cost for some of our largest non-employee related expenditures. At the same time, we have continued to reduce cost in staff compensation. However, more than 80% of our budget goes to staff compensation and benefits. When we've had to reduce staff, we've been careful to adjust staffing in such a way that no one loses their job. This year, we must reduce staff again. There will be administrative, teacher, and operations reductions around the district. But again, due to careful planning, including the retirement incentive that we offered last fall, we will again avoid having to pink slip anyone. With careful, advanced planning and behind-the-scenes work, we have reached a point of reducing the district's budget by the $14 million required to stay within spending authority limits for fiscal year 2019.
The state legislature only approved a 1% increase for school districts this session, leaving us with no choice but to cut $14 million, and not without consequences. Given the political climate in Iowa, my fear is that 0 to 2% supplemental state aid is the new normal for school districts, and the years of regular 4% increases are a thing of the past. While school districts have also seen an increase in categorical funding from the state, those funds can only be spent on certain programs, not for general education purposes. Supplemental state aid is vital as costs paid for with the general fund, such as health care, compensation, fuel, goods and services, and more, continue to rise. We are actively engaged with our legislators to better support our public schools. If you feel compelled to support our students and teachers, there are things you can do to help. The Community Legislative Action Team, or CLAT, a group of engaged parents and community members led by a committee of the DMPS Board of Directors, is a great place to start. More information about CLAT may be found online at dmschools.org under the School Board tab, on Facebook, or by calling 242-7713. Thank you for your engagement with Des Moines Public Schools, and thank you for attending the DMPS Budget Forum for fiscal year 2019.